Well, protecting and repairing the land is the job of Oklahoma's conservation districts. Earlier, I sat down with their executive director, Clay Pope. This coming legislative session, we know that we've seen some dramatic rains this year. What has that meant for some farmland and some of our agricultural land in the state?
We've seen a real shock to the system in Oklahoma as far as the conservation infrastructure is concerned. You'll be hard-pressed to find a place in Oklahoma where there's not a significant number of terraces that have been damaged from the flooding, waterways that have been significantly damaged. You go into Kingfisher, Blaine, and Caddo County with the big storm that we saw on August the 19th. Probably anywhere from a third to two-thirds of the farm ponds have been blown out south of 33 Highway in those three counties. You look at Caddo County, where you have highly erodible land to begin with. Areas like Sugar Creek and Fort Cobb have seen significant amounts of erosion. Land that's basically, thousands of acres, literally thousands of acres that on August the 18th were in place, were farm ground, was productive land. Now they're in the bottom of Lake Texoma. So we've seen those sort of things happen. You look at the flood control structures in Oklahoma. We have over 2,000 flood control dams. We had at least 25 just on the August 19th storm alone that saw water go through their emergency spillway. We had 2 that almost broke. The system worked well, though. I'm saying all this about these damages. It worked exactly like it was supposed to. It contained the damage. We saw over $300 million in savings that Oklahoma doesn't have to pay for because this structure was in place. But just like any other piece of infrastructure, when you have that much stress on it, you have to go out and do the repair. It's done what it was supposed to do. It provided that protection, but it's been under so much stress going all the way back to last spring. We've got to do some repair, and we've got to get out there and make sure that that system is in place before we see another rain event. Because of the level of damage that we've seen, there's a lot of dollars. In fact, we've estimated about $30 million worth of damage that has to be repaired. That's a big number. And so that's, when you figure that the conservation budget last year, which was the largest we've ever had in history, was $18.5 million, and now on over the course of 6 to 7 months, we've seen about $30 million worth of damage. It's a big, big number. But everyone recognizes, I think, the benefits. Again, over $300 million worth of savings that came from this. The fact that we have been able to maintain our soils, that we're not seeing the level of erosion from water that we saw prior to the construction of the terraces and the waterways. I think everybody recognizes that. It's just the idea of coming up with the resources to get that done.
Am I correct in believing that, we're so cognizant here of knowing what wind erosion can do, but water erosion does more damage than wind?
If I remember my numbers right, there was somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20% of the Oklahoma farmland that had been abandoned because of water erosion. There were millions of acres of farmland that had to simply be abandoned up into the 1930s because of the gullies, because of the rill and sheet erosion that we were seeing because of water. And then, of course, the Dust Bowl was the main event that caught everybody's attention. But that's why the whole idea of conservation, whether it be to control wind erosion or water erosion, started. And definitely we've seen the benefits because many of those acres were put back into production, they were repaired, they were healed, and have been productive assets for the state of Oklahoma and for those landowners who own that property. And we want to make sure that that never goes back to what we saw before, because talking about biofuels today and the struggle between food and fuel, we're going to need every productive acre that we can, and we want to keep those assets in production. And that's the thing that it's just another piece of that to make sure that they're productive, that productivity stays in place, that the next generation enjoys the bounty that we've seen and can build on that. That's really what we're in business for. And I think, again, the system's worked well. It's shown its benefit over the last 70 years, and hopefully now when we're seeing these wild weather events, we can get the dollars out there to make sure it's in place for another 70 years.
And to learn more about the importance of Oklahoma's flood control dams, just head to our website and click on Value Added.